All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to put on our detective hats. And you might be asking, why? Well, it's because the world of data analytics, it's just packed with mysteries. And the real key to solving them, it's learning to think like a true data detective. So what's a data analyst's real superpower? What's that one thing that truly separates the great ones from, everyone else? Is it some kind of crazy complex math? Is it being a coding wizard? Well, the answer, it might actually surprise you. It turns out the real superpower is asking the right questions. I love this quote from our source material because it just hits the nail on the head. Think about it. If you ask the wrong question, something silly like, why did the cat steal my homework? You're just going to end up chasing your tail, following all the wrong clues. But if you ask the right question like, hey, where did my homework actually go? Boom. Suddenly, all the clues start to make sense. It's all about getting that focus right from the start. Okay, so where does a data detective even begin? Well, before you even think about looking at a single piece of evidence, you've got to define the mission. Every single investigation needs a super clear objective. I mean, just think about it, right? A detective doesn't just show up at a crime scene and start wandering around aimlessly. No way. They know exactly what mystery they're trying to solve. And it's the same thing in analytics. You have to understand the business problem first. What are we actually trying to do here? What's the big decision we need to make? And these missions have to be really specific. We're not talking about vague goals here. We're talking about things like finding out exactly why customers are leaving, or understanding which of our products are just flying off the shelves. Maybe the mission is to predict how many patients a hospital is going to see next month so they can get their staffing right. Or maybe you're hunting down exactly where the company is wasting money. See, each one of those is a sharp, focused mission. It gives the whole investigation a real sense of purpose. All right, so once your mission is locked in, you know what you're looking for. The next logical step for any detective? Well, you start gathering your clues. Or for us, that means gathering the data. And this is where having that clear mission really starts to pay off. Let's say your goal is to figure out why customers are leaving. Instantly, you know which clues matter. You're not going to waste your time digging through, office supply orders, right? Of course not. You're going to go straight for the good stuff. Customer usage data, support tickets, survey responses. That mission tells you exactly which clues you need to be looking for. Now, gathering clues isn't just about grabbing everything. It also means you have to ask some more specific questions. Like, where does this data actually come from? Is it even relevant to our mission? And here's the big one. Can we trust this evidence? Is it accurate? Is it complete? Because think about it. A detective with bad evidence is never going to solve the case. And it's the exact same for a data analyst. Okay, you've got your mission, you've gathered your clues. Now it's time to head into the data lab and do some real forensic work. Here's the thing about raw data. It's almost never perfect. In fact, it's usually pretty messy. It can be inconsistent, it might have big chunks missing. So the very first thing you've got to do in the lab is unlock its potential. That means pulling it all together in one place, cleaning up all those errors, and then transforming it into a format that you can actually use. And what's really cool here is that there's no single tool for every job. It's just like a detective, right? They use different tools for fingerprints than they do for DNA. Well, an analyst needs different techniques for different kinds of data. So for numbers, like sales figures, you might use something called regression to find relationships. But for text, like customer reviews, you'd need text analytics to figure out the sentiment and what people are actually talking about. And if you've got a whole mix of data points, clustering can group similar customers or products together automatically, revealing these amazing patterns you didn't even know were there. So you've done it. You've analyzed the clues, you've found the answer. Case closed, right? Well, not quite. The final and, maybe the most important step is telling the data story. It's not enough to find the answer, you have to present your case in a way that people can actually understand. This is your big moment. You're standing in front of the jury, your boss, your team, whoever. And you can't just throw a giant spreadsheet at them and expect them to get it. That's never going to work. No, you need to show them. You have to visualize your findings, turning all those complex numbers and patterns into a clear, compelling story that leads everyone to the same conclusion. And hey, you've got a whole toolkit for this storytelling part. You've got simple bar charts, which are awesome for comparing things. Line charts, they're perfect for showing trends over time. And for more complex stuff, you might use a scatter plot to see how two different things relate to each other, or a heat map to find those hot spots in your data. Just look at this simple bar chart right here. In like 2 seconds, you get the whole story, don't you? Product B is the clear winner. It's crushing products A and C. You didn't have to dig through a single line of a spreadsheet. The picture just tells you everything you need to know, instantly. Okay, so we've walked through the whole detective process, but so what? Why does any of this actually matter in the real world? Let's zoom out for a second and look at the big picture, because this stuff can literally change everything for a company. It really all boils down to one thing: a massive competitive advantage. The organizations that actually master this process, asking the right questions, finding the answers in their data, they just blow past their competition. It is the single most powerful way to get ahead. I mean, think about it. When you start making decisions based on cold, hard evidence instead of just gut feelings, you improve performance. You get way more efficient. You start to understand your customers on a whole other level. You spot new opportunities that nobody else sees. And the result? You grow a lot faster. And that really brings us full circle, doesn't it? At the end of the day, being a great data detective isn't really about being a math whiz. It's about being a great thinker and a great storyteller. It's a whole process of curiosity, investigation, and then communication. So there you have it. You now have the secret framework that data detectives use to turn simple questions into world-changing answers. So I guess the only real question left is, what mystery are you going to solve first?